Hello and welcome back to week number 14 of NFL predictions. I'm Ben Silk, and this week I'm here with my dad. And this week's gonna be a good week of NFL. There's so many good games, especially later in the 1 o'clock window or 4 o'clock window. And we're just gonna get started with this Thursday night game. And the Lions took on the Cowboys. The Cowboys, yeah, they just beat the two defending Super Bowl champions, and damn, it would have been good to see the yeah, it would have been good to see the Cowboys get it done again, go on a one after being the defending Super Bowl champions, but their defense played like how they've played all season long again, and
Yeah,
the Lions put up 44 on them when they were struggling against the Packers just last week, which have been struggling as of late as well, to win it 44-30. But Dad, you want to just pull up quickly our what were the score predictions we had for this game?
I don't have them in front of me. I'd
That
have to
just
look
go
at
with
the
the
text.
text, yeah. Just
Yeah,
go with
I'll
the
look at
text.
it. Well,
Exactly.
you and I both picked the Cowboys, and the Cowboy fan picked the Lions.
Yeah.
So,
So a Cowboys fan got it right.
yeah, and he went against his team, and he got it right. How about that?
But
Yeah,
anyway, we're on to our 1 o'clock games, and we'll start off as we have a doozy. This is a trash bowl. We got the Titans. They take on the Cleveland Browns. We got Shador Sanders taking on Cam Ward. May be in for a good game in this game. Battle of two rookie QBs. And you know what? You know what? I think we see I think we see Shador is going to show up in this one. And yeah, I think Cam Ward is the better quarterback, in my opinion, out of these two. But that Browns defense, I just think how bad that Titans offense has been playing. Yeah, this Browns defense is not going to allow the Titans to do anything. And I think we're going to be in for an ugly one. I think Shador puts up some numbers as well because the Titans defense is probably as terrible as their offense. And I think the Titans wind up taking it. No, not the Titans. The Browns wind up taking it. It's going to be a boring one. 16-6. Browns.
I would love to see Shador have a game here. I mean, he hasn't really been amazing yet, but he's leading them to victories, and there's something to be said for that. Or at least one victory. Is that right? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, 1 out of 2, not bad. And he's starting. I'm a fan, and I'd like to see him succeed. So I'm definitely rooting for Cleveland in this one. I think that they get it done at home as well, and I'm gonna go Cleveland 17-7. Boom!
There it is.
Right off the bat today, folks.
Yeah, could not waste any
Oh, and I have
time.
to say, how since the Pats are on bye this week, I'm just gonna throw in a lot of Pat stuff. How much is Tennessee kicking themselves that they let Vrabel go?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Ah,
Shouldn't have
love it.
done.
Loving every second of it.
Yeah. But anyway, we're on
All
to our
right.
next game. And Dad, you're going to predict this one first. We got the
Sure.
Seahawks as they take on the Atlanta Falcons, a bird battle in this one.
Yes, a bird battle in Atlanta. And there's no way Atlanta. I mean, they're probably going to play them a little tough, but there's no way they're getting by the Seahawks. Seahawks are one of the most elite teams in the league this season, and they continue to cruise. Jackson Smith Najigba is a stud. Sam Darnold is playing like a stud, and Atlanta is, not. I'm going Seattle big here, 30-13.
30 to what?
13.
Yeah, the Falcons have just not been playing like the team that they're supposed to be and were looking like in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Now we're Kirk Cousins, yeah, and a bunch of injuries. Yeah, they just not have been playing good,
It's
and
true. It's true. The Falcons every season get a lot of hype, and then they always let everyone down.
yeah, and it's happening again
It
this
is.
season. But
Yeah.
the Seahawks are just too good of a team to make this even a competition. I think the Seahawks stomp all over them. You saw how the Seahawks played against the Vikings last week, however. Yes, they won 26-0, but that offense, like most of those drives ended in a field goal. Sam Darnold did not have a single passing touchdown, so that's something that's a little concerning, but I think they still get it done, but because of that, I don't have them putting up that much points. And I think, yeah, the Seahawks get it done over the Falcons. I'm going to say Seahawks 23 to the Falcons 15.
All right.
But on to our next game, and this, folks, this could be the game of the week. We got a battle for the AFC South title, possibly, as we have the 8-4 Colts as they take on the 8-4 Jacksonville Jaguars. The
Yeah.
Jaguars, they have been rolling as of late. The Colts, they haven't been rolling that much. They've been
They've been on a downward slump.
yeah, they just lost to the Texans. Who knows what's going to happen with them? But this game's going to be interesting, and it really could be either team. I see this game. It's going to be a battle to finish. The Colts are going to play the Jaguars tough. I think the Colts are going to bounce back and have a good week. We got a 27-27 game in overtime, and I think
Ooh.
that Colts defense is going to show why they yeah, why the Colts have the record that they do, and honestly, I do feel like the Colts still are the better team in this matchup, and I think they get it done, holding the Jaguars off and getting a pick to set them up for a game-winning field goal. Colts win 30-27 in OT.
Wow. That sounds like a fun one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with the teams with the momentum here. And Jacksonville, especially at home, has the momentum. Lawrence is playing better, and they got Jacoby Myers now, who's kind of turned into like their stud wide receiver, and then they get this guy, was Strange or just whatever his name is, the tight end.
yeah, I'll tell you that. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, I'm gonna go with Jacksonville at home over Indian. Was sure to be a good game. 24-21.
All right, but on to our next game, and we got two teams battling, two quarterbacks in this game coming back from injuries, and this is going to be a good one. We got the Commanders as they take on the Vikings.
Yep.
Vikings with JJ McCarthy, they've been struggling. The Commanders, they've been struggling, but two teams that made the playoffs last year, which most definitely won't make it this year. But I think they're going to make it an exciting one. But at the end of the day, how both these teams have been playing, I think winds up being more of a low scoring game, and I think the Commanders are going to be able to pull ahead at the end to take this one. And gotta give credit to the Commanders. They played phenomenal against the Broncos last week, putting that game into overtime,
Yeah.
and just lost that on a 2 point conversion with a team with 10 wins. So the Commanders, they're still a team to be reckoned with, but I do think they are the better team in this matchup. The Vikings have just been struggling. They need to fix that quarterback issue. They should have never got rid of Sam Darnold. Yeah, we're seeing that a ton this season. And yeah, I think the Commanders find a way to get it done. They're going to do it. I think they wind up doing it 29-22.
I'm not that excited about Minnesota. I think that they are falling off a cliff and they're doing it hard and fast. Having JJ McCarthy back is obviously good, but I'm more excited about seeing Jaden Daniels come back for the Commanders. And he's got the healthiest squad around him that he had even when he did play earlier in the season. So I think we light a fire, and Jaden Daniels gets a chance to be exactly the guy we've all come to know and love. And I see Washington winning this big, making a statement win, 37-10 over the Vikings.
Oh, wow. But on to our next game, folks. Yeah, this is game of the week. Well, I'm just going to take a look. Yeah, this is game of the week. Even though the records don't say it, this is game of the week. Two teams that I love as well. We got the Cincinnati Bengals,
Yeah.
4-8, as they take on the Buffalo Bills. But it's Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. A game that it's going to be a great game. And let's take a look. Yeah, the Bengals coming off an amazing win on Thanksgiving, dominated the Ravens. I think that momentum sticks, and their defense stepping it up. just because of how bad the Bills have been playing as of late. Yes, they got that win against the Steelers. Their offense played terrible, in my opinion, in that game. Besides James Cook, Josh Allen does not look like himself, and yeah, they got to figure it out. But I think it's gonna be the Bengals who are gonna destroy the Bills in the upset of the week. And I think they make a big statement there, letting everyone the NFL know that they're a team to look out for. And I think the Bengals are going to take this one 35-13
Wow, a big
over the
win.
Bills. A big
Wow.
statement win.
Wow, that would be. I agree. I think Buffalo is, they're obviously a good team, and they have a recent history of being one of the best. But they're not doing everything right this year, and I think Cincinnati somehow at 4-8 still has a path to the playoffs if they win out. I don't know that they're going to do that, but I'm certainly going to be rooting for them, and I think that they do what they need to do, and they get one step closer by upsetting the Bills in Buffalo. And I think this is a big, fun game that goes into OT, and we
Mhm.
see the Bengals win it 36-33.
Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, now the Bills are probably gonna win because we both said the Bengals. But I'll be rooting for
Yeah,
the Bengals anyway.
that
We're
does happen.
on to our next game. This game probably a little less exciting. We got the Saints as they take on the Buccaneers, and Buccaneers they haven't been playing great as of late, but the Saints are still playing like the Saints. I think it's still gonna be a win, a good win for the Buccaneers. I think the Bucks aren't going to play as amazing as you would expect them to, and I think the Saints give them a fight. But the Bucks are going to be able to hold them off the end to win 23-16.
23-16.
Bucks, yes.
Bucks. Yeah, I think this is going to be a Bucks. I think they're playing well. They're getting healthy, and I think that the Bucks take care of New Orleans without much of an issue at all. I'm going to go Tampa Bay 27, New Orleans 14.
But next we have the 6-7 battle as we have the
Oh,
6-6
six,
Steelers
seven.
as they take on the 6-6 Ravens. The loser of this game, they're gonna be 6-7. But anyway,
Ah,
we got the Steelers. Rodgers is going to be out again. And then the Steelers not playing so good as of late as well. And then we got the Ravens. They've bounced back since Lamar's come back, but had a terrible game in that one against the Bengals on Thanksgiving. What Ravens are we going to see here? I just think the Steelers. They've just been struggling. But Mason Rudolph, what does he have up his sleeve? I still think this is going to be the Ravens who get it done. And possibly this may be the year that Mike Tomlin's 9-8 streak ends. But I would not be shocked if he finds a way to go 9-8 again. Just to get above 500. But anyway, I think the Ravens are going to win this game. And I don't think it's going to be their excitingest game. But I think it's going to be a close one, and I think it's going to be the Ravens who get it done 19-13.
I hear you. I think I'm on the exact same page as you with that one. I think this is going to be more of a defensive game, and it's going to be like a ground and pound game. And I see Baltimore coming out on top, and a not a very pretty one. Give me Baltimore 13-10.
But on to our final 1 o'clock game. We got the Jets as they take on the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins, believe it or not, they have more wins in the last month in November than the Chiefs, the Colts, and the Eagles. The Dolphins actually been doing all right, and
Yeah,
they're playing the Jets, so I think it should be a win for them. However, the Jets have found ways to get wins, so the Jets may play them tough, but I think the Dolphins find a way to get it done. It's not going to be the excitingest game, but Dolphins get it done. I'm going to say Dolphins 32 to the Jets 16.
I agree. I think Miami is the better team here. They're touch and go, but they're definitely better than the Jets. And especially when Devon A-Chain shows up, which he consistently does game after game. Give me Miami here. in a blowout win, 27-7.
But on to our 4 o'clock games, and this one we have a rematch of probably the most boringest game this season. We have the Broncos as they take on the Raiders. Of course, in this game, when they took on each other last time, the Broncos won 10-7. We got a rematch of that. I think the Broncos they get it done again. The Raiders are just playing terrible. Usually, I put this as an upset because even with the Broncos playing as good as they are, the Raiders usually find a way to upset them at this point of the season. However, the Raiders are just too terrible right now, and there's no way I could give them a win, especially over this Broncos team, and especially how close that last one was. I think it's gonna be the Broncos. Yeah, Broncos should be able to get it done by a bit more. It's not gonna be the most excitingest game, but I think the Broncos get a bit more of a dominant win. I think this time it's gonna be Broncos 26 to the Raiders 9.
I like how you say Raiders.
It's Chris
I
Berman,
think
inner Chris Berman.
I think that it was a boring, ugly game the first time, but I think having played each other is going to give you know Denver the recipe of what not to do and what to do right this time, and I think they
Yeah.
capitalize on it. And I see Denver taking care of Vegas without much issue whatsoever, 33-10.
But on to our next 4 o'clock game. And we have the LA Rams as they take on the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, this game's gonna be loud, I think, and we're gonna see another dominant performance by the Rams. And yeah, I think this potentially could be ugly. I don't. The Cardinals just playing terrible. Been playing terrible. Jacoby Brissett actually been putting up good stats, but they have still been losing. And yeah, I think it's gonna be the Rams who are gonna get a big win here, putting up. I think they're gonna put up 48 on the Cardinals, meaning it
Woo!
48-8.
Wow, that would be something. How about
Big
that?
and the touchdowns towards the end. They go for two. That's it.
All right. I There's no question the Rams are going to take this one in my mind. Rams are dominant. Stafford is an MVP candidate, but he's not as good as Drake May, but he's still
It's
damn good.
not. Yeah.
No, and I think the Rams take care of Arizona, who Kyler Murray is now out for the season. He's turning out to be a bust, which is a shame because everyone thought he was going to be like the next best thing. So I Jacoby Ellsbury, we like him. He's an expat. We like him, but I think Rams, without too much of a problem, take care of this game. Maybe Arizona gets some garbage points. I see the Rams on top 27-14.
But on to our next game, and this, folks,
Game of the week.
this could be
Game of
a
the week.
game of the week. We got the
Yeah, it could be.
Chicago, the Bears taking on the Green Bay Packers, and damn, I'd love to see the Bears win this game. They've won it. It's been the Packers' domination for this rivalry for so long, but I think the Bears are going to be able to get the Packers this season, but I don't think it's going to be this game. And that's just because, yeah, both these teams are playing great. I think they're going to split the series, but the Bears are being hyped right now. And like Bears fashion, I think the Packers find a way to get it done. And I don't think it's going to be super pretty either. And I think the Packers get a big win like they did against the Lions last week. I think it's going to be 34 to the Bears 24.
Man, this game could go either way. And with the way the Bears are playing, with Ben Johnson coaching them, is very impressive. But I got to go with Green Bay at home in Lambeau. I think the game is going to go through Josh Jacobs, and I think he's going to run all over the Bears. And I think the Bears are going to play him tough, and it's going to be close, and it's probably going to come down near to the end. But I like Green Bay on top in this one. I'm going to go 33-27 over the Bears.
All right, but on to our 8 o'clock game, and this one could be a good one too. We have the
Absolutely, yeah.
7-5 Houston Texans taking on the 6-6 Kansas City Chiefs. If the Chiefs lose this one, they go to 6-7. And yeah, the Texans have been playing as a good late. It's a must win for the Chiefs. Who's gonna take this one? I think the Chiefs get it done. I'd love to see the Texans get it done, but I just feel like the Chiefs, when they need to get a win, they'll do it. And yeah, I think we're gonna see it here. And I think the Chiefs are gonna be able to pull away in this one as well. Texans give it a fight, maybe pull ahead like 14-0 in the beginning, but I think the Chiefs go on a route and wind up taking it 34-17 over the Texans.
I think both of these teams are playing good ball. Their records don't really show it. Houston, surprisingly, at 7-5, has I think outperformed everyone's expectations. And KC is playing good ball, but they're at 6-6. As of now, not slated to make the playoffs, and that might still hold true. But I think they're going to do everything they can to be competitive and to be in the talk, to be in the conversation. And I think KC gets the win at home. I don't think it's pretty, but I'm going to go Kansas City 20, Houston 18.
All right, but our final game of the week, we got the Philadelphia Eagles as they are going to be taking on the LA Chargers. Both these teams, there's question marks coming in for both these teams. Justin Herbert, of course, he's going to play, but he got injured in the last game. How well is Justin Herbert going to play? That is to be seen. And then the Eagles, that offense, they got to figure something out on that offense. And I don't think this game's going to be pretty. I think we're going to see it's going to be a defensive battle. I don't think we're going to see a thriller on Monday night. And possibly I could see like a 3-0 game at halftime, but I think at the end, I do think it's gonna be the Eagles who do somehow find a way to get it done, as they always do in close games. And I think it really could be either team, but I think the Eagles get it done in this one. I'm gonna say 14-10.
That doesn't sound very exciting.
But yeah, how these teams are doesn't probably not be
Yeah,
exciting.
I hear you. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
I think this could be a delightful matchup, and I'm certainly hoping that it is. It could go either way, just like you said. But I'm gonna go. I believe Herbert's playing right with a broken
He is, but
non-throwing hand.
yeah, what Herbert are
Yeah,
we gonna see?
that should be interesting to see. But I do believe. I do believe that, and they're gonna have Hampton back. I believe, which is kind of exciting.
Oh, well, in that
Yeah,
case, I meant to.
yeah.
Uh, I'll
Who
stick
knows
with
how
my
many reps
prediction,
who
but
knows how many reps he's going to get, but I think
yeah,
he's one of the most elite running back rookies.
I think that could like make a touchdown difference, though. But yeah,
Yeah, you going to stick with your prediction?
yeah, I am.
Well,
I
I'm going the other way, and I'm going to go LA on top in this one at home, behind Omarion Hampton, behind Justin Herbert, and all of his great uh, receivers. And then he has even behind Hampton, he has Harvey, right?
I think so. I honestly
Right.
don't know.
The other guy, oh Vidal. Sorry, that's what I was thinking of. So even the backup
Harvey
running back is
somewhere.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah, Harvey's in Denver. But I like the Chargers on top here. And I'm with you on the close, low scoring game, 17-14 over the Eagles.
that's a score I would have switched it to, but I decided
Yeah,
to stick with the Eagles. But anyway, that's gonna wrap it up for this week's episode. But
I got a question.
yeah,
Front runner for MVP?
yeah, I forgot. For MVP or for this week?
No. Oh, well, I meant for the season, but we should do both.
Yeah, for this season, Drake May. Or
Absolutely, I'm
Jonathan
in 100%
Taylor.
with you.
Or Jonathan Taylor. But
No,
I
Drake
think
May all the
Drake
way.
May. We'll see how he continues to play in the next 2 weeks against the Ravens and Bills. But if he puts up two great performances, I think it should be a lock. But yeah, I'm gonna say Drake May. And then for the week, can't say
For the
Drake May because on the bye.
yeah. I know who I'm going to
I
pick.
may have to go with Gibbs' performance on Thursday, but I'll just go with a game
You
that
can't
hasn't
pick a
happened yet.
performance that already
Yeah,
happened.
I know. Let's see. Yeah, do you want to go?
I am going to go Green Bay. I alluded to this earlier with their running back, Josh Jacobs, having a big game against the Bears and just going to town.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Joe Burrow having the big game
Ooh, that'd be great.
over the Bills. As I said, they'd win 35-13. Yeah, I think we get a big game by Joe Burrow.
All right.
But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this week. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I'm Ben Silk,
I'm Josh Silk.
and we'll see you next time.